I liked the effects. I liked it. I liked it, what it did for me, because it took me from reality and put me wherever I wanted to be.
I thought it made me smarter. I thought it made me more creative. I thought that I was more powerful. It made me complete, no question about it.
For how long?
For 20 minutes, and then I could do another line.
There are common mechanisms in the brain that are triggered by every major addicting substance. Now, we don't know for sure that this is the common essence of addiction, but it's very striking that all addicting substances cause a change in dopamine levels. That's nicotine, heroin, cocaine, amphetamines, alcohol, marijuana, all produce changes in dopamine functioning in the same general area of the brain.
Dopamine is part of our brain's vast and intricate communications network. All of us have some 100 billion cells or neurons in our brains. They communicate with each other by electrical impulses and the release of chemicals. These chemical communicators are called neurotransmitters. Dopamine is one of them. When we have a pleasurable experience, the brain releases dopamine.
So, for example, normally we might have a very positive experience and get a certain amount of dopamine released. We might have a wonderful meal. We might accomplish something. We might win a race and get a certain amount of dopamine. What the drug abuser finds is that they can literally fool the brain. They short-circuit the brain. They take drugs and they get this sense of well-being, of happiness, of euphoria. And what's really striking is that it's reliable. When they take cocaine, when they take heroin, they can produce this again and again on a regular basis. None of the vagaries of, will this experience live up to expectation? And that's what gets them in trouble, because by bombarding the nucleus accumbens and the rest of the brain with more dopamine than it had ever seen before, the brain adapts. It literally becomes dependent on the drug. It is changed by the drug. You can no longer feel okay once you're addicted without the drug.
We could sort of put the oligo in and ligate it in.
Sounds like a reasonable idea.
Yeah.
In his lab at the National Institute of Mental Health in Bethesda, Maryland, Dr. Hyman and his researchers want to know more about how drugs chemically seduce the brain.
This crew here is really studying very directly how drugs and neurotransmitters, the chemicals that nerve cells use to talk to each other, make long-term changes in the functioning of the brain.
Have you found the answer to his question about why the brain prefers drugs to broccoli?
Not yet.
We'd all be out of business.
You do know that. You know
We
that,
knew.
right? There's nothing in broccoli that taps into brain reward pathways. All of the most addictive drugs are natural plant products initially. So cocaine came from the coca leaf, tobacco produces nicotine, and opiates came from the opium poppy. Now the chemicals in, say, the coca leaf that produce cocaine fool the brain and literally reproduce, although in massive fashion, the equivalent of the release of dopamine. There's nothing in broccoli that does that. Literally, the chemicals in a small number of plants are Trojan horses. They're masqueraders. They look just like natural chemicals found in the brain, and they fool the brain.
So they come in here and they say, that was good, but it really wasn't good.
That's exactly right.